right, we'll call the City of Westfield, Indiana Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order for June 24th, 2020. The staff, please call the roll to note a quorum.
Jim Bake.
Here.
Randy Graham.
Virtually present.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Next up, we will have consideration of approval for the minutes of May 27th, 2020. Having had opportunity to review those minutes, are there any additions, corrections, or comments?
None for me. I move we approve the minutes from our May 27th meeting.
Randall Graham seconds that. I have a motion made by Jim Ake, seconded by Randall Graham to approve action item number 1, the minutes of May 27th, 2020 as written. Will the staff please call the roll?
Jim Ake.
Yes.
Randy Graham.
Yes.
Motion carries 2-0.
Thank you. On to action item number 2, 2020 Asphalt Rejuvenating Project Signing Authority.
Yeah, so this is our request for you all to approve contracts that have not come in or been completely finalized. We did bid the project out. RejuveTech is our preservative seal that we put on our newer asphalt roads that prolongs the life and minimizes long-term maintenance. There's an annual application that we do asking for your approval for me to sign the contract in the amount of $133,095.25 as soon as those contracts are finalized.
Move to approve signing authority, action item number 2, asphalt rejuvenating project for 2020.
Randall Graham will second that. Have a motion made by Jim Ake, seconded by Randall Graham to approve action item number 2, 2020 Asphalt Rejuvenating Project Signing Authority. Staff, please call the roll.
Randy Graham.
Yes.
Jim Ake.
Yes.
Motion carries 2-0.
Thank you. We'll move on to action item number 3, 2020 Striping Project Signing Authority.
Yeah, the same situation, asking for signing approval. We bid this once. It came in substantially over budget due to material costs increasing over the last year. So it was more than we estimated. We had to revise the scope and rebid it. The quotes are due on the 26th. And our budget amount is $85,000. So we're asking for approval for me to sign contracts not to exceed $85,000 for this application.
Right. Is there any discussion, questions?
None from me.
Hearing none, Randall Graham will make a motion to approve action item number 3, 2020 Striping Project Signing Authority.
I'll second.
Thank you. I have a motion made by Randall Graham, seconded by Jim Ake to approve action item number 3, 2020 Striping Project Signing Authority. Staff, please call the roll.
Randy Graham.
Yes.
Jim Ake.
Yes.
Motion carries 2-0.
Okay, I see there's just a question. I see there's signatures needed. Do I have to come in and sign, or can you use I don't know if you have a signature on file?
I will defer to Brian, but we have been just having Randy come in and having one signature.
Okay. That's typically what we do. I mean, unless Brian has an issue with this particular type
I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Pat had asked me could I come in after the meeting and sign. So when this is over, I'm headed over there to go ahead and sign documents.
Good.
Okay, on to action item number 4, VS Engineering and City of Westfield 2019 on-call consulting contract supplemental number 1.
Yeah, so this is as it's stated, on-call services, which means that we can call VS. They can give us a task order if we need a small project, whether it be surveying or something like that. The original contract was back in March of 19 with a not to exceed of $28,000. Over the period of that time, we have consumed that 28,000, and we would be extending the not to exceed to 48,000. What that does is locks in our rates, and it's basically a time and materials contract for quick service. We do a number of these, but this is an extension of theirs.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, I'm on now. I can.
John got on.
Yeah.
Thank you for saving me.
Chief Rush is on the other Skype call right now because I think there are 2 different Skype meetings that were sent out to the same people. So just if in case Chief Rush isn't on this one, it's because he's on the different Skype link. But anyway, and this is mainly related to Grand Junction Plaza with regards to shop drawing review. They were the civil engineer on that project, so they've been doing quite a bit of work in the early stages of construction with regards to storm and sanitary sewer type stuff. So that's probably the bulk of where this on-call will go, but we can also utilize them for other services.
This is just our ongoing thing. We have essentially this exists all the time, nothing different, correct? It's just extending that a bit.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Ake, do you have any questions, comments?
No, sir.
Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve action. Randall Graham will make a motion to approve action item number 4, VS Engineering City Westfield 2019 on-call consulting contract supplemental number 1.
I'll second.
Have a motion made by Randall Graham, seconded by Jim Ake to approve action item number 4, VS Engineering City Westfield 2019 on-call consulting contract supplemental number 1. Staff, please call the roll.
Jim Ake,
Yes.
Randy Graham,
Yes.
motion carries 2-0.
Thank you. Moving on to action item number 5, Centennial SSD Improvements RFQ approval.
John, you want this, or do you want me to take it?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to get Chief Rush the meeting information. Yeah, so in Centennial, there are sump lines that tie into our subsurface drains. When they were constructed, the street trees over time have gotten some roots into those sump lines and SSDs, causing some obstructions. We've been, over time, repairing these, and just for everyone's information, we've since updated our standards to certain species of trees that will kind of remedy the situation going forward. But in the meantime, we are doing some repairs in Centennial. This is a request for quotes to contractors to do this work. There are 3 separate locations that we are looking to do the work in 2020. Each of the locations individually are under the $50,000 threshold. However, given the City Council's guidance with respect to RFQs, especially pertaining to projects in series, we certainly didn't want to look like we were trying to skirt that request for quotes. So we did reach out to 3 contractors for this work. The 3 were Daystar, Miller Pipeline, and Indiana Reclamation and Excavating. Daystar returned quotes to us, and Daystar actually has done this work previously for us in Centennial as well. The quotes are $37,428 for the first location, $31,000 for the second, $39,600 for the third, for a total of $108,000 in work. The Indiana Reclamation and Excavating did get back to us, but they said their workload was such that they couldn't put a quote on it. They just couldn't do the work this year based on their workload. And Miller Pipeline was unresponsive on our request. So we did make an effort to reach out to 3 qualified contractors. We did only receive 1 quote or 1 company providing quotes in return. However, this is a company that has done the work previously. They know the routine, and we do feel very comfortable with them doing this work. So I would request that the board approves these 3 quotes from Daystar for the Centennial work.
I have a question. You probably don't know the detail of this, but there's, one of the one of the residents, you had it on there that was having a problem. Now, I'm somewhat familiar with this because I live in Centennial. Hanahan, Marilyn Hannon, something like that. She was taken off the list, and I know she had a problem. I'm just sort of surprised. I don't know if you know the detail on that.
I don't know the specifics of it. I do know that we are doing other work out there. These 3 are the large permanent repairs that we are doing this year. I don't know for sure, but we can find out whether or not she was taking off the temporary repair list because we are accommodating her needs with the permanent repairs.
Okay.
But I can get you more information with that.
That's all right. I just want to make sure, because I've had some conversations with her in the past, and just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing or that's been taken care of on her end. Now, the other question I have on this, does this eliminate, do some of these people have pop-up valves, and does that eliminate the pop-up valve?
It would, yes, if there were pop-up valves along this stretch.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
These stretches, I should say, because there's 3 different segments.
And then the length of time this repair, it should be a permanent repair for a long time. Is that correct?
That is correct. So instead of the temporary pop-up valves that we have been doing for the last, 6 or 7 years,
Right.
A couple years ago, we started doing long stretches of permanent. So it would be new pipe with a solid pipe so that the roots are less likely to invade the pipe, as well as all the connections that are along that section. So it should be a more permanent long-term solution.
All right, and the last question I have is this funding coming out of the, where's the funding coming from? It's coming out of the wastewater, whatever it is.
Stormwater, yes. So everyone pitches into with their stormwater fees. We budget accordingly as much as we can to fix this ongoing Centennial problem. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last few years.
Well aware of that.
Yeah. But yes, these are stormwater funded projects.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Then, Randy, do you have any questions?
Well, I think in that depth of the conversation kind of answered mine, because you're talking about permanently correcting it and without removing the trees. I didn't understand how you were going to do that. But if it's a rigid pipe, you said was less likely to be damaged by the roots, I guess it greatly diminishes the opportunity for reoccurrence of this.
Yeah, that's correct.
I used to live in Centennial. Fortunately, on my street, Estrich planted ash trees and they all died, so that we didn't have this problem. Emerald Ash Board took care of that for the city. But no, I don't have anything else beyond that. I would make a motion to approve action item number 5, Centennial SSD improvements RFQ approval.
I would second.
Motion made by Randall Graham, seconded by Jim Ake to approve action item number 5, Centennial SSD improvements RFQ approval. Will the staff please call the roll?
Mike,
Yes.
Randy Graham,
Yes.
motion carries 2-0.
Thank you. Moving on to action item number 6, encroachment application Duke Energy pole relocation Spring Mill Station Flats.
Yeah, that is effectively for a new development project. It's a pole relocation proposed by Duke. If everyone is familiar with the Spring Mill Flats development, southwest corner of 161st Street and Spring Mill Road. There is a public street that will be constructed in conjunction with that, Spring Mill Depot Drive. It will extend off the south side of 161st, just east of the Rainbow Child development, which I believe is now switched to a kinder care. But in order to construct the A-cell, D-cell lane off of 161st that will connect with Spring Mill Depot Drive, Duke needs to perform some relocation. Developer and Duke have proposed relocating one of the existing poles approximately 4 feet from its location. Westfield questioned this initially, as is customary per the city standards, to relocate to the full breadth of the right-of-way, which in this case would be a 75-foot half right-of-way. We asked Duke why they were only relocating 4 feet. They explained that this would help in eliminating from about 3 to 4 new poles that they would have to do had they used the entire right-of-way. It also helps the developer cost effective for the development. So I think in turn, John Nail had looked over this from a safety perspective and determined it would be okay. And I think the developer also agreed as a measure of compensation to install a timber guardrail there in front of the pole that they're only moving about 4 feet. John, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I would just reiterate that we looked at this. The pole is going to be located relatively closely to the edge of the D-cell lane, but they are going to fully protect it with timber guardrail, which provides some comfort as far as roadside safety goes. And this kind of compromise actually allowed it to be a pole for pole. So the pole exists now; it's getting relocated. If they moved it to the back of the right-of-way, there'd be 2 additional poles sticking out to get the configuration to work from a support perspective for that overhead electric line. So we feel good about the situation. I think we reached a compromise between city and developer that I think that both parties can live with.
That was my primary concern, and I trust your judgment on that. So if you're good with it, I don't have any further discussion. Mr. Ake?
No, sir, I don't either. As long as you're good with it.
Yep.
Okay. I'll make a motion then. Action item number 6, encroachment application, Spring Mill Station Flats. I move to approve.
Randall Graham will second that. I have a motion made by Jim Ake, seconded by Randall Graham to approve action item number 6, encroachment application, Duke Energy pole relocation, Spring Mill Station Flats. Will you call the roll, please?
Randy Graham,
Yes.
Jim Ake,
Yes.
motion carries 2-0.
Thank you very much. On to action item number 7, encroachment application, Duke Energy, 15316 Town Road, Claiborne Farms.
Yes, this similar situation here in that a private development proposed by Pulte Development in this case is triggering the need to relocate some existing electric poles. However, in this case, Pulte is able to utilize the full width of the new existing right-of-way. Again, that is a 75-foot half right-of-way. So Pulte's proposing, Pulte and Duke proposing relocating poles to the back of the right-of-way. This would result in the elimination of 3 existing poles, but the offset will actually add, you're going to lose 3 poles, but add 6 poles back in. So, and it's a +3 at the end. 3 additional poles is what it will result in, but you're moving it 75 feet off to the full dedicated half right-of-way that Pulte is dedicating with the Claiborne Farms.
So for 3 extra poles, we're actually getting it moved further away from the road.
Correct. It's a
Right?
Yes, and I believe town is primary arterial in our thoroughfare plan, John. Is that correct?
Correct.
It will, so eventually, this would get, it does, yeah, add 3 additional poles, but it gets them far off the right of way where they would likely move, the other poles would move to at some point in the future when we likely would widen Town Road.
Okay, this is unusual. It's moving further away instead of closer. I don't have an issue with that. Mr. Ake, any discussion?
No issue.
All right, no further discussion. I'll make a motion to approve action item number 7. Encroachment application Duke Energy 15316 Town Road, Claiborne Farms.
I'll second.
I have a motion made by Randall Graham, seconded by Jim Ake to approve action item number 7, encroachment application Duke Energy 15316 Town Road, Claiborne Farms. Staff, please call the roll.
Jim Ake,
Yes.
Randy Graham,
Yes.
motion carries 2-0.
Okay, looks like the only thing on the consent agenda is the June bond information. Is any discussion necessary on that?
No.
Okay, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I move to approve the June bond information document.
Randall Graham seconds. We have a motion made by Jim Ake, seconded by Randall Graham to approve the consent agenda. Staff, please call the roll.
Randy Graham,
Yes.
Jim Ake,
Yes.
motion carries 2-0.
Thank you. Are we doing department reports on Skype, or are we still not doing department reports? I guess, I don't know, is anyone on for fire? Unless they're a wireless caller, I don't see anybody. Anybody? Okay, Chief Rush is on. Chief, do you have any comments or anything that you'd like to talk about on your report or otherwise?
Sure. Good to hear from you guys. Actually, this morning I got a cancellation of this meeting, so I literally wasn't aware that we were even having it until about 2 minutes ago. So I apologize. I got in late. Just to give you a quick update on what's going on at the police department. Obviously, it's been a challenging time for our officers with first COVID and now just the climate of the nation, quite frankly. But we're doing okay. I've been meeting with all the shifts the last couple days, and I've got my last shift tomorrow night. Just doing a check-in, making sure everyone's doing okay. Our younger officers, quite frankly, are having a hard time right now, just with the climate, and a lot of our veterans have been through this sort of thing before and realize that we'll come out of it. But we're just reassuring and making sure that the officers are well aware that, you know, Westfield is by far very supportive of their officers. That being said, you know, we're pushing professionalism. We're pushing, you know, to do the right thing. I'm making it clear that, you know, we're out there to protect our community and to not hesitate what we're supposed to be doing. But it is trying for some of our officers right now. We're doing pretty good. We're as far as staffing goes, we're at 59. We will hire 5 more before the end of the year, which will put us to 64. So we've actually put together a recruitment team. Just Scott has went forward picking several officers that are good representation or good representatives of our department, and so we're moving forward with continuing our recruiting of candidates, hopefully across the whole nation, really. But we're doing that. As I said, we have 5 more to hire for the end of the year. I was looking at the numbers And whether you know it or not, we've had about 11 people that actually have left our agency within the past year or so. So not only was it a challenge for us to find, those 10 officers this year, but when you consider the fact that we've lost that many to retirement, it made it even more challenging. So, but we're doing really well. We've got 5 more to go for the end of the year, and other than that, things are moving along fine. The other thing I wanted to bring you up to speed on is we do, as you know, we suspended our body-worn camera program. Wow, it's been probably about a year ago because of deficiency in the equipment that we had. But I'm happy to announce that our general orders are done. Our training is continuing, and the majority of our department will have body-worn cameras here within a week or so. And then the whole department will probably within the next, I would say, 3 weeks. So we're looking forward to that. The officers are real excited about having them again, especially with what's going on in the nation. So that's about it. If you have any questions for me, I'm here to answer them.
I've kind of been a fan of the cameras just because for the protection of the officers, and nothing else, it shows that they are doing the right thing. I think it's very important, more so than even capturing anything else on the camera that might be on there, but it takes away the implications that some people like to make that are not true. So I like the fact that you guys are getting those back up and going. Mr. Ake, do you have anything?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate you, Joel, on all you've been through this year with all the obstacles and all the things that are going on nationally. If there's anything I personally can do to help the morale among your ranks, I'll be happy to do so. I'm sure you got a good handle on that, but it doesn't hurt to send out just our feelings and know that we support them.
I express that sentiment as well. If there's anything I can do personally, let me know, and I would be glad to do that. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. You guys have been a huge support, not only now, but for many, many years, and it's very appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you. On to Public Works, Mr. Lawler. Do you have anything?
Nothing major. If you are out and about around Grand Junction, take notice out there. We've got some heavier activities going on. They're setting a crane to start driving some piles. Our Westfield Boulevard project's moving right along. Getting ready to, NDOT is getting ready to bid our E Street project, so that will be ramping up here later this summer. Other than that, it's maintenance activities as normal. Our parks are opening back up, so playgrounds are now open, public restrooms are open, and as soon as we move into stage 5 from the governor, we will get our splash pad back open. So lots of good stuff working toward getting back to normal.
Any update on has the traffic study been done or whatever about the Hawkeye system? Is there any update on that at 161st?
I can give you an update on that, Jim. So I did speak with our consultant yesterday. They've been monitoring traffic volumes throughout Hamilton County as this pandemic has continued. They have seen a steady uptick in traffic volumes, as you might expect. However, the AM peak in particular is still about 40% lower than historic numbers would indicate. The midday and PM peak are a little closer to normal volumes, but about 10 to 20% lower. The plan moving forward is to do data collection, provided we continue to see kind of an uptick in volumes over the next week or two, to get data collection in mid-July once we get to that phase 5 of the governor's plan. we feel comfortable that the traffic volumes will be back to a reasonably normal level to allow us to do an accurate study of the Hawk system at Monon and 161st.
Okay. Any word on the State Road 32 through downtown project?
Yeah, we had a consulting parties meeting 2 weeks ago. That includes basically any stakeholder that wants to be a part of it. Westfield Preservation Alliance was involved, Indiana Landmarks, State Historic Preservation Office. We're all on the call along with Federal Highway. It was a productive meeting. We got a lot of good comments back, and the final date for the last comments is July 6th on that, and we'll send our findings into INDOT and State Historic Preservation Office for our historic impacts for the various alternatives. So it's a slow process, unfortunately, but we're following the federal guidelines. We're probably a month or two behind schedule from the original schedule, partially due to the pandemic, but we're moving forward, and we've got pretty good support in the community on the project as well. So all in all, it's been good thus far.
Okay, and no alignment on Jersey Street extension or
right. Well,
whatever.
Certainly we want to avoid the one-way pair alternatives that we had to throw out there as alternatives themselves. But I think in part because Chief Rush and Chief Reed provided good background information as far as why they may not approve of those alternatives, that was helpful. I think Federal Highway fully understands that those options are less desirable for several of the entities involved.
All right. Thank you, John.
Yep.
Further business? Hearing none, I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
A motion to adjourn by Randall Graham, seconded by Jim Ake. Call the roll, please.
Randy Graham. Randy Graham.
I think you already adjourned.
Oh, it's okay. I thought he said motion.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I called the roll, so we need to roll. Can you hear me?
Yes. I said Randy Graham.
Yes.
Jim Ake.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn approved. 2-0.
Adjourn. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Talking with you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Will I be good to head on over and sign?